This is Paul. Time for another story time. I did one yesterday, so I was thinking about stories, and this story I remember very vividly. And this story time is about I almost got killed, or stabbed at least, when I was a kid. The way to explain it is, when growing up, we had a group of friends, that we would play softball, basketball. We would hang out, we were like preteens and teenagers. That the group that lived within like a 3 or 4 block radius, guys that we hung out with. Me and my brothers. I come from a big family, and I have 6 brothers, but primarily my 2 younger brothers. We could hang out together most of the time with a couple of friends, like 3 or 4 friends or 5 friends, depending on the situation, the time of day, and whatever. And we play softball, basketball, hang out, bust each other chops, usual kid stuff. And I remember, I think it was like right after school. No, not right after school. I think a little bit after school, maybe around 5 o'clock. And where we were school, from where we lived at the time, school was about 3 blocks up. And we were around the school, because they had a field back of the school. They had a baseball field, and we would play there oftentimes. And one of the guys that I remember, that he played softball with us, he had to go home because he had to do homework, of course. So, of course, he lived like across the street from the school. And anyway, we after the game was over, he went to play, and then we hung outside of his, he had a little lived in a little private house, and when he went upstairs, we were busting his chops like kids do, and we were telling him, I said, your mama's boy, you got to go home and do your homework, and we were just singing songs and just busting his chops and generally making noise, and I never forget what happened next. Like I said, it was me and I think one of my brothers and about 5 or 6 friends, and we were, like I said, outside busting the guy's chops, and all of a sudden the door burst open, and this guy's father came out, and he started chasing us. Now, of course, for kids, we ran every which way. Some kids ran back to the school, some kids ran forward, and I ran kind of straight because I lived like 3 blocks down. So I ran in the middle of the street, and all of a sudden I turned around, and I noticed everybody ran every which way, and I noticed that this kid's father was chasing me. I mean, he was right on the top of me. I didn't even realize it at first until I kind of turned around, and then I saw that he was right on my behind. So I kind of kicked it into another gear and sped up and kind of went past him. But all of a sudden I saw something whiz right by me, and I looked to my right and looked on the floor as it slid, and then I saw it was like a big knife. I mean, a big knife, like one of those. Not a switchblade, but just it looked like a butcher knife, I guess, in a way. And it just flew, and it swung, and I just saw it slide past. He had stopped because I kept running, and he stopped running, but I just kept running, and I didn't stop until I got home, and then later, me and my friends, we sat around and talked about it, and of course we joked about it and said, Jesus Christ, this guy was nuts. And my other friend had told me, he said, yeah, I saw him when he had the knife, and that's when I started running. I started running because it was the kid's pops, and we decided to run because we didn't want him to get us into trouble and stuff. And that's what I thought he was going to do, grab us and just like take us to our parents and report us and say we were making noise and stuff. But my friend told me, I saw him when we came out, and he had that knife in his hand. He said, that's why I took off the other way. And he said, you're lucky you sped up, because I didn't know, again, at the time, I didn't see, I just saw him come out, and I just took off running, and then I didn't notice that he was right behind me until I looked back real briefly, and I saw that he was right on me. He wasn't chasing anybody else, maybe because I ran straight. He was right on top of me, and I just, kicked it into another gear, and then I saw that something whizzed right by me, and then I saw it slide on the gravel, and then I saw it was a knife, and then I really picked it up until I got home, and then that really shut me up for a long time after that. And I just said, like I said, I could have got killed 1 or 2 ways. If he'd have caught me, but of course, and maybe stabbed me, or maybe he threw the knife at me and he just missed. I don't know which one it was. Or like I said, I was running straight down the street, and it was like a one-way street this way and a one-way street this way. So I guess I could have got hit by a car as well. If a car at that time was coming by, I could have got hit by a car, if not stabbed and killed. So that was my brief moment with death, which I didn't even realize at the time how close I was to actually getting stabbed or killed even. by this crazy man that was mad at us because we were making noise in front of his house. Again, just thinking about that just kind of gives me the chills and stuff. Again, you don't want to have that feeling, having somebody turn around and somebody behind you running at you with purpose. Okay. Anyway, that's my story time for this, how I almost got killed or stabbed, I guess I could say. And let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Paul saying so long and take care.